In this video, we're going to be looking at family placement or component placement. We're going to start with some simple door placement. So if I were to use the shortcut DR and try to place a door, you'll notice that depending on where on the wall you have your cursor, whether it's on the interior side or exterior side, the flip symbol or the swing goes to that side, right? So if I wanted to place this door here, the flip symbol in the door represents the exterior of the door as well as the swing direction. One thing you keep in mind when you're placing anything in Revit, if you select it, you should be able to see some temporary dimensions like this. Take advantage of that and make sure that this is something more reasonable or something that's more appropriate for your design. Then when you're trying to place something like windows, and this goes for really anything in Revit, there are going to be some base constraints, right? So in case of windows and doors, it's going to be called the sill height. Depending on the window and how the family was made, the sill height could be defaulted to something else. In this one, it's set to 3 feet. So if I were to click here, again, you'll notice that the flip symbol on the window once it's placed is on the exterior side. Now that should correlate to your walls as well. So always pay attention when you're placing your walls that the arrows here are on the exterior. And if we were to dig into this, right, if I open up the door family here, just want to show you that even inside of the door family, when it's properly made, you'll see that the exterior side is the side with the flip. And if I were to dig into the wall type, close that for a minute, and go to edit type for the wall, exterior, or edit structure, right? The exterior on this dialog is at the top, just like the family. And there's our brick layer, which is what we see here on the outermost. Hit OK here. So something to keep in mind, depending on how your custom families are made, there are some important things to consider in terms of constructability. Sometimes, architects prefer to have windows grow downward so that you can maintain your heads or your headers. So if I were to edit this family right now to something like 5 feet, it's going to grow up from the sill, which causes issues. You typically end up having to move the windows down to make sure that it's not conflicting with structure. If you were to work with a family that has that set to grow down, the sill height will actually be the head height. I've explored multiple ways of fixing that. There's no way around it. So you either prioritize having a accurate sill reading at 3 feet, or you prioritize avoiding a conflict with structure by having your windows grow up or grow down instead of up like it is right now. All right, so that's windows and doors at a very high level overview. Let's look at a couple other families. So if we were trying to place something like a cabinet, let's see here. Something to note about Casework, and again, this is if the family is properly made with the right references. When you're placing a cabinet up against a wall, it should snap to that wall. Doesn't mean it's hosting to it, but it has a strong reference at the back or rear reference plane inside of the family. So if I were to place this family somewhere in here, and let's look at how the family is made. Over to the ground floor. Right, if I select this back reference plane, it should be set to strong. It's like there's 2 reference planes in there. it's not. So the back is serving the same purpose, but what I was referring to here is this here, setting it to strong. So let's take a look at another placement feature here. If we had some sort of angled wall here, and we were trying to place this same cabinet, as soon as I get to where the wall is, you can hit the space bar and it'll actually become perpendicular to it. You can see the cabinets over here. So keep in mind, the space bar is really a strong feature in Revit. Whenever you're placing families, you can either use it to flip around orientation or make sure that you're aligning to your wall there. Okay, and then let's look at a light fixture placement. So LF for light fixture. This is a face-based family, and it comes with a few different options. So when you're placing in plan, you get 3 options. If you're placing in something like a 3D view, you only get 2, mainly because there's no need for the third, which if we go back to the plan, it's place on vertical face, which is really useful, right? If you're placing lights on a wall, you can say place on vertical, elevation from level, and let's set that maybe to 8 for now. And let's try to place it here. There it is. Right? It's giving me a huge warning about, it's not visible in plan, but that's because it's above my view range. If I place another one here, not sure where that one went. Oh, place on face. So I don't have a floor in here, which is why it gave me a warning. If I were to have it on place on work plane, it would place it on the level. If I make sure that it's placed on vertical face and click somewhere in here, it'll place it on the wall. Now this family is lacking a symbol, which makes it hard to place as well. So something to consider if you're working with light fixtures, make sure that you have representational symbols for it. I think we still have time for a quick bonus tip here. So let's look at a model in place. If I go over to architecture, component, expand that, and go to model in place. When you're dealing with model in place, you're going to want to make sure that you're setting your reference planes or your work planes. So for something like this, where we maybe need a custom countertop here, what I want to do is I want to save myself some time and pick the top of one of these cabinets to mark the bottom of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick my plane, which should be a shortcut PK. And then I'm going to just pick the top surface here. I'm going to just do a simple extrusion, set it to, where's my depth? Here it is. Let's do 1 3/4. And then I can just simply pick a couple of edges. And then tie them together. Get done on this. And there's a quick little countertop. Now we can always play with the adjustments here and use an offset at the front. Get done on that, and you can see that here. Now, if you had wanted to see the casework below it, a couple of quick ways. You can either have them be part of your family here and they'll show through. The other option is going to view, show hidden line, selecting your casework, making sure down here you have multiple selection, and then tab till you get your casework. Same thing on this one. And when I hit escape, you're going to now be able to see the casework below. So that's been a quick Revit tip. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Got any questions? Head over to bimdad.com and let us know. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content. See you in the next one.